Welcome to the Fire Away Podcast. The podcast that is the Fire Away Podcast. Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's do it.
Welcome back to another episode of Fire Away. I'm your host, Mark Meyer. I am here with Fred Anders, and we have a special guest joining us in studio. We're not doing an employee spotlight today, but she's back for the second time.
Elizabeth Adkins. Elizabeth,
Liz.
welcome back. Welcome. Ready here to fire away with everything and anything.
This is going to be our Halloween episode, as Halloween is Elizabeth's birthday. She's going to be 48.
What is that?
And doesn't look a day over 50.
I'll be 42.
I'm only a little bit older.
Okay.
42. You young bucks.
I'll be 42 after this will come out after my birthday, so this Sunday. So I know we don't like to say dates and times on this show.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we're all over the place.
It's a Halloween episode, people. We're not recorded on Halloween. That's how we do things.
Yes, yes, and we have the Wicked Witch of PZ with us today.
Yes.
So, Liz, your birthday is October 31st. You are a Halloween baby.
That is correct.
So how was that growing up? Has it been fun?
Yes. It is that and Christmas are my favorite holidays. Not because it's my birthday. I just love Halloween. I love all the scary things, the haunted houses.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't ask you what your favorite holidays were. I asked you specifically about your birthday and Halloween. But we do appreciate, I'm sure the listeners do as well, that extra tidbit of information about you. It will go a long way in learning things about you. But anyway, so let's hear more about your birthday and Halloween. How was that?
How is Halloween? It's my favorite.
Your favorite?
Yes, it always has been. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So do you run around and say trick or treat, it's my birthday?
No. I don't necessarily share that it's my birthday. I just love Halloween, so I think it just goes hand in hand.
Did you ever feel like you were gypped?
No. Mm-mm. No, I always celebrated. We just always did a big Halloween type of themed birthday party.
So I'm assuming like all the kids would come into your house. You guys would have cake, ice cream, blowout candles, and both streets with candy bags.
Yeah, but not necessarily on that day. We always did cake on that day. But specifically, like my 13th birthday, we went to Jason's Woods, a whole bunch of us. That was mine.
Because it was 13.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Scary. Were you scared?
Yes, I was terrified.
Are you easily scared?
No. It takes a lot to scare me. I grew up in a house where that's what we did to one another.
So, quick story, right? I went through a stage, I was probably 9 or 10, something right around there, 11 years old. And I was going through a period where I wanted to scare everybody. So I jumped from behind doors and I would behind coat racks or whatever case may be, right? So one night, it's late, it's a weekend, I'm home, I'm watching TV. We were in New Mexico at the time, I lived in New Mexico. And I'm watching TV and hanging out, and it's time to go to bed. So I shut the TV off, turn the lights off, turn around and start walking down the hallway. Well, my mother jumped out from behind a wall and scared the living Jesus out of me. My knees shook. I did the whole thing, and she could not stop laughing. Scared the living Jesus out of me. I'll never forget that. I was like 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yep, that's my goal as a mom on a regular basis, to do that to my children.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So one thing I have to do as well is, like we'll go in the woods and we'll take the kids. I don't do it anymore because it kind of was, them played out, but I have a gorilla suit. So they'll go hiking in the woods, right? And well, that would be the past. And I would, dress up in the gorilla suit and I would go hide in the woods, and they were working their way through. I would jump out and again scare the crap out of them. So that was fun.
So we're telling ghost stories, and I'm going to jump in. The house I grew up in, you can ask Heather for this, believe me, was 100% haunted. It wasn't a Halloween theme. It didn't haunt us around Halloween. It just a lot of spooky stuff would happen throughout the years. Since this is our Halloween, I guess we talk a little bit about that kind of stuff.
So you believe in ghosts?
Oh, I already, you're going to hear all about the stuff I believe in. Ghosts and aliens. I believe in all kind of stuff. So yeah, so when we were younger, this was back when you had the big tube televisions, right? Like,
yeah.
The ones that weighed 700 pounds. 10 inches across.
And they hummed when they came on.
Yeah. So my friends and I had a sleepover one day, and we were up there, and it was a bunch of boys, you know what I mean? We're hanging out. We turned the TV. So this TV, this was before remote controls now. You used to have to push the metal like button in to turn the TV off.
Those were the days.
So we pushed the
I
button
was the
in.
remote control.
Yeah. Yes, you were the remote control. So I pushed the button and turned the TV off. And I remember us all laying in bed talking to each other. I had a couple of us were on the floor. A couple of us were in the bed. And the TV turned back on. And that was like immediately we all freaked out because there's no remote control. Nobody was playing jokes. The TV just turned back on. So this was around my birthday. So this was around September. We had a dog named Lucky, who eventually would get hit and killed by a car. So never name your pets Lucky. I don't know if you know about that superstition. So we had a dog named Lucky. So like a few weeks after that, my sister and I our bedrooms were upstairs at this time. And my parents' bedroom was upstairs. So at nighttime, we were all upstairs, and we heard something. We ran to the top of the steps. This was a row home in Baltimore. The dog was standing at the top of the steps, looking down the steps, and the hair on his back was stood up. And we were like, go see what it is. He wouldn't go down the steps. So we all make our way down the steps. Me and I think it might have just been my father and the dog. So me and my father and the dog are there. And we had a family portrait that hung over top of our fake fireplace and our fake mantle, sitting on our couch, and not a single thing on the mantle had been moved. Fast forward now to Christmas. My parents had bought us these little pianos that had gum inside of them. So it was only about like the size of maybe a harmonica, but it was a piano, and you could hit some buttons, and you had gum inside of it. And in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve, it started playing by itself. So these were just some spooky things that would happen around us. It was a haunted house. Like, I don't know if anybody died there. I'm sure since we moved out, people have definitely died in that house. But back then, it was definitely just some spooky stuff. So I'm definitely a believer. Do you guys got any ghost story? Are you believers?
I am not.
And ghosts.
I am not. I mean, I've heard some people tell some compelling stories, which are like that. My wife 100% does. The house she grew up in, they swear to God it was haunted. I've never had an experience, I guess you could say. So, you know, to say I don't believe, I wouldn't say I don't believe, but I've just never had anything happen to me. Liz, how about you? Any stories?
I don't have any actual stories, but I am definitely a believer. My kids swear that our house is haunted, so, you know, but I absolutely am a believer.
Well, that's because they leave laying around and somehow it just disappears, right? They're 30 minutes in the sink, and where'd they go?
Night, the doors close or doors open, or, you know, they're hearing noises. But it's an old house, so it could be just that.
So I just read this story, and you're talking about ghost stories, and this is a true story because we were prepping for this Halloween episode. Is anybody familiar with the Daniel LaPlante story for teenagers?
No. Is it a local story?
We'll just say yes for the sake of the argument because I don't really remember where it was from. So they since wrote a book about it called The Body in the Wall. So this guy, Daniel LaPlante, was a teenager owner. Right? At 15, he was assaulted by a parent and assaulted by his psychiatrist. So you can imagine this dude had some emotional damage, right? Plus, he was a loner.
Emotional damage.
Yes. So he was not functioning correctly. So he asked this girl out in his town that he liked, his neighbor. Asked her out, and she ghosted him. So this was before anybody even knew
Pun intended?
It was. Pun intended, because he turned around and did the same to her and put it in a different way. So this dude, he's 17 years old. He likes this girl, asks her out. She just ghosted. He goes, breaks into their home, and starts living inside their walls.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah. So he...
What do you mean it's a thing?
That is the thing that these people
Hold on, time out. Explain that. What do you mean thing? That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it a squatter, you can call it whatever you want, but
In the walls?
in the walls, in the attic, in crawl spaces, yeah, they do it. They live there and move. They deliberately do stuff to move stuff around in your house, eat your food.
Now that's scary, right? That's nuts.
This is what this guy is, right? Like exactly what you're saying. He's living in this crawl space behind. He finds out that it's a hole behind the toilet, and somehow he goes and lives in this crawl space. And the girl that he likes' mother had just passed away. So her and her friends decided that they're going to use a Ouija board to try to contact her mother. And this guy's watching this happen from inside the wall. So easy pickings, right? He starts messing with them. He starts writing notes on their walls while they're sleeping and ketchup that looks like blood saying, hey, I'm in your house. Come find me. He starts drinking the milk and the alcohol and leaving the containers out and they can't fit. So one night,
they've got to be losing their minds.
They're losing their mind, right? So the girl is telling her father all this and he doesn't believe any of it. He thinks that her and her friends are doing this because her mother was just passed and she's just struggling for attention. So he thinks she's making this up. And then one night the father hears something and he goes into the bedroom and finds this guy dressed in a ninja mask holding an axe over top of his daughter's bed. And they get into a fight and the guy all of a sudden starts running out the house and disappears. And the father's like, I'm telling you, he calls the police. He's like, he didn't run out of my house. Like I'm telling you, he went into one of these rooms and all of a sudden he's gone. Like he's a ghost. I don't know where he's at. Well, the police come in, they do their investigation, and that's when they find out that this guy's living in the walls.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So they lock him up. He gets a year in juvie for doing this.
It's a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Gets out and then murders a family of 3
Oh my gosh.
a year later that were his neighbors his whole. So he had gotten into burglary. They think he was planning on doing the same thing, like breaking in and stalking this woman and her 2 kids. She had just accidentally confronted him as he was breaking in. He winds up murdering her.
Oh my goodness!
And the 2 children. But now, just recently, the reason up is he was denied parole, so he's not eligible for another 45 years, and this happened in like 1987. So
that's absolutely
he's not
nuts.
getting out. You know?
Absolutely nuts.
Could you just imagine someone living in the walls? It's bad enough when you go to a hotel, you think there's cameras and smoke detectors.
Well, I'm going home today, and I'm going to start investigating a little bit because I don't want nobody in my walls.
It's scary.
Yeah,
That's
my
why
goodness.
Everybody makes fun of me, but I watch all the true crime and make sure I'm in the know. I'm always trying to keep my surroundings, going on around me.
Well, I mean, it's you have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. At all times. Yeah, I mean, there's some. It's nuts. It's nuts what people do out there. And what the cool thing. Well, I think the cool thing, the intriguing thing is what goes through their mind, right? So, what is going through their mind when they're doing these things? What goes through their mind to make someone want to do these things? Number one, just to live on a wall. You know what I mean? That's nuts. But to live on a wall, get a year in juvie because you're underage, come back out, and then murder a family of 3. It's the mind of a criminal, the mind of a killer. I mean, there's a lot of documentaries and there's a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of shows based around that. And it really is intriguing to know what kind of goes through the mind of someone like that.
It's mental illness for sure. And then you compare that with the fact that the guy was, abused by 2 people he had looked up to, a parent and a psychiatrist who was supposed to be helping him out with things, abuse. So it's not an excuse, but it does cause more mental problems. So it's not a normal person. Normal people don't live in the walls.
No, 100%.
I mean, do you guys got any favorite? I mean, so getting back to the Halloween theme, is there a Halloween movie? Like, are you into that? All right, let's talk about the horror movie.
So for me, I love your classic Halloween. I watch them every year, rewatch them. Specifically in my mind, I won't start watching them until end of September, October 1st. And then I literally will watch. That's all I watch for the entire month of October. A lot of, yes. So the traditional Halloween, Michael Myers, Jason, I like all the classics. I do also, I can't get down with, the wax house. What is that one called? Yeah, House of Athens.
Rob Zombie.
That's
Yeah.
not Rob Zombie.
Now Rob Zombie did do
He gets
a
quite
Halloween.
freaky. He got some nuts.
He's
stuff.
very gory. So I can handle the gore, but I like that maybe not necessarily could really happen in real life.
Have you seen the new Scream?
Yes. It was good. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the things that I watched growing up and then you watch now, it's all about let me see how much gore that you can put out there. I don't need the gore. I'm just about the suspenseful part, like while you're waiting for something to happen. I don't need to see, you hanging from the ceiling and your innards hanging out and all that. I don't need all that. But
yeah, my favorite, all-time favorite, and it was probably because of the age I was when it came out and the effect it kind of had on me. Like, I mean, that stuff doesn't scare me too much. I'm not easily scared, but the Freddy Krueger movie when it first came out, I don't know, I guess that was 11 or 12 around that time too. So, and that was one that I watched as a kid, and it was like, yep, that's pretty freaking freaky there. And it's always had an impression. So it's always been my favorite just because of the effect it had on me as a kid. But I think that those are my favorites of the Freddy Kruegers.
My traumatic shows, what the movie was Children of the Corn, gave me nightmares for weeks because I couldn't. I was a kid at the time, and these children doing these terrible things. And Dr. Giggles, that's probably why I have such a fear of the dentist, because he was a dentist. But he kept me up. That movie kept me up for a long time.
All right, so top 5. What's your top 5 favorite Halloween movies?
Top 5. Definitely would be any of the Halloween, or like I don't have a specific set one. So any of the Halloween, any of Friday the 13th. Probably the scariest though, when you're talking scary, would have to be not the Insidious, but the other. It's all incorporated together. They go together. What is that?
I'm not sure. I'm not a big Halloween movie guy though. Like,
So while she's doing that, one of the things nobody's mentioned, I don't know if it's specifically a Halloween movie, but it definitely came out while we were kids because we're all around the same age. Was the Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Those were good.
They were good.
Creeped me out.
Chucky wasn't bad either, honestly.
Chucky wasn't. It was the first of its kind.
Yeah.
That I can remember. Anyway, these possessed.
But one of my other favorite like scary movies, and it wouldn't necessarily be a Halloween, would be The Shining. Though.
Shining.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. There you go.
That's he's a nutball on that one. That's crazy. But yeah, there's some good ones. Kelly, how about you, buddy? What's your favorite?
Oof.
No, not a scary movie fan.
Again.
No, I'm in a horror movie club,
Uh-oh.
so I watch them all the time.
But you don't really have a favorite. You just like them.
He just likes the blood, guts, and gore, right, Kelly?
The original Exorcist.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Exorcist. There's
That's
a good
a
one.
good
that
one.
We're not thinking about.
Yeah, when her head flips around, you're like, what is wrong with you, bro?
Evil Dead, that was really.
Yeah, The Exorcist was definitely a good one. That's a good classic, too.
There's so many that would be there that we want to think of. Army of Darkness, hilarious. Love that movie.
What is it? What's the funny one with Woody Harrelson?
Oh, the vamp when they're the zombies.
Zombieland. That's actually pretty good. Does
that count as horror movies though?
They're zombies.
Yeah,
It's zombies in it.
It's
People are walking
horror, I
around. You know what I mean?
guess.
But you gotta get into the Walking Dead.
I love it. I love The Walking Dead. I'm into all the spin-offs too. I'm sucked in. I'm into it.
I have never seen an episode. Not one episode I've ever seen.
Spoiler alert.
So did you figure it out? Did you Google search it?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you're
It's not
done.
coming
Okay.
up. It's
All
really
right. All right. We're done with you, pal.
Yeah. So there were the Insidious. There was two. How about the Saws? We're not talking about Saw. Remember, Saw was hugely popular.
Saw.
All the Saw.
Another one I thought was halfway decent was Hostel.
Hostel was good.
The first.
It was
the first one was
a little freaky, man.
Well,
A little freaky.
They're all they're all in the same kind of
Genre.
to me.
Yeah. I agree.
There are the classics. Chucky to me is one of the classics
For sure.
The Friday the 13th are classics.
Freddy Krueger's.
The Freddy Kruegers, Pet Cemeteries, like we said, Children of the Corn, 100%.
Oh yeah. I mean, you think about it though. Anytime the Exorcist, Children of the Corn, anytime you have the Chucky's, a child that are just whacking people out, you know what I mean? That's just freaky. You know what I mean? Children taking people out just kind of blows me away, right? Because that's just not what they're supposed to be doing. So it gets me every single time.
What was the movie?
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring. Yeah, well, good. So Halloween's your birthday, and you like celebrating it. You like, so what's more fun? The fact that it's your birthday or still trick or treating as a kid? When you were a kid, did you enjoy the trick or treating more, or the fact that it was your birthday more?
No, the trick or treating, just Halloween, just the scary, all of it, the scary factor, the haunted houses, or the movies, just the whole vibe. I'm all about that.
So, do you and the kids now go to the Jason Wood and all the?
Every year. Normally, every year we go to Field of Screams in Pennsylvania, but every year we try to do something. Mm-hmm.
So now that you're a little bit older, how does your birthday play out on Halloween nowadays?
I don't really care. I could care less about my birthday. But
I'm the same. The birthday's another day to me.
Oh, Kelly showed us a picture of his daughter dressed up like Chucky.
Let me see that.
Awesome.
Let me see that, Kelly.
That is awesome.
So what about you, Liz?
Absolutely incredible.
Your birthday, Halloween.
That's the
adventures.
cutest Chucky I've ever seen.
Is there any
Nice job,
favorite
Kelly.
costumes that you've had over the years?
Oh yeah. So
As a kid, we dressed up every single year up until you were a teenager, and then for some reason you're a teenager and you think you can't dress up anymore. But vividly, I can remember being always, a clown, a witch. I was a witch numerous times. That was what my biggest go-to was. But as an adult, those are
That's understandable.
yeah, those are because you can just be more creative as an adult. So I was.
How about naughty?
I was a munchkin.
Are you a naughty costumer?
No.
I am.
Yeah, Mark, you like the naughty ones, huh? You like the short
Never
skirts?
got down with that.
When I lived in the city, my cousin Doug and I, so we had two traditions. We would start Halloween. So we lived in a row house in Baltimore City. Our beginning as the
Is this the same haunted one?
It's the same haunted one.
Okay.
So he lived next door to me, my cousin Doug.
Was his haunted?
No, not really. I didn't really stay there much. But so in between our two homes, my grandfather had built this set of benches. So on Halloween, as the kids were trick-or-treating, him and I would dress up like scarecrows. And we would wear masks. You couldn't tell if we were scarecrows. Scarecrows or if we were people. And we would just sit there and we would scare all the kids as they walked by because they'd always have to come poke you to see if you were real. So that was one of my favorite. And then after that ran its course, and the kids kind of stopped trick-or-treating, we would dress up as ladies of the night and go trick the cars driving by. See how many people we could get to honk at us to think that we were actually women. And I got some big legs. So I don't know, people were into some freaky stuff. So I did not look good in fishnet stockings, I'll tell you that. But I still got a lot of honks. So they were our two traditions.
That's good.
I don't mind
It's a little flattering and disturbing at the same time.
I don't mind putting on the skirt.
Oh, man, I love it.
I think the best part is dressing the kids up, though. I love that costume.
Now, are you a go to Walmart and buy them something, or do you guys like to be creative and see what you have there?
Well, I'm gonna be real honest. I like in July is creative mom, and I'm gonna make the costume, and we're gonna do all the things, and then all of a sudden it's October 15th, and I've done nothing, and they've changed their mind 25 times. So ultimately, you end up at the Walmart or the Target.
That's the thing right now.
Or the closet, whatever I can pull out of the closet.
Yeah.
Changes her mind every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a kid, well, we were poor, and I'm kind of still poor now. But so a hobo was the go-to, right? You grab a stick, tie a bandana around the end of it, put some crap in it, look like a little thing, and we would take Vaseline and we'd rub Vaseline all over my face, and then take coffee ground for the cure. You actually had coffee ground laying around, and I'd push them to my face to make myself the old scraggly-looking beard. Put on some old raggedy clothes, hobo all day long, buddy.
We dressed up as babies. I remember doing that in high school. That was like the thing. I don't know why.
I never
Or a punk rocker.
I remember going back to Fred. I dressed up as Freddy Krueger one year. My mother made the costume, that the striped shirt and everything. And the reason I remember this the most is she was hot gluing the wig onto the mask and burnt her side of my face for real with the hot glue gun. So I can never forget.
That's funny.
That's funny.
What's your favorite costume, Liz, that you wore? Overall,
my favorite?
all-time favorite. You have one?
Probably one of the times I was a witch, just because I was nice and scary. Like when I was older.
Now, was it something you put together type witch, or was it something you went out and bought?
No, I bought it. Mm-hmm.
You bought it. All right.
Yeah, I cheated.
Bueno.
Oh, and I did a skeleton too, like with the creepy makeup and stuff.
Okay.
That was fun.
That's cool. That's cool.
I had kids that were. I had my middle son. He's 15 now, but he was so afraid. He was scared. I couldn't even take him into the Halloween store. I have video of him screaming hysterically in the parking lot. Yes, I'm like, dude, you are not my kid because this is where we're going. You're going in here.
Now, do you guys do the trick or treat? Right? Are you in your neighborhood type person, or do you go to the rich places where they have? You hope to get the whole side candy bars.
Now we go straight to the Dundalk because it's all row homes and you get all the candy.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a little bit of trunk or treat.
Quantity over quality.
But we've been doing a lot of Halloween camping.
Yeah,
Campgrounds do it.
That's a lot of fun.
So we do a Halloween camping and then we do like a trunk or treat. Not a lot of kids in my neighborhood, so we don't really have any traffic on Halloween.
Yeah, when I first moved in our neighborhood, there were very few kids, and over the last 5 years, it has been ridiculous. So now what happens is my neighbor and I, we take our four-wheelers, we take our little trailers, and we decorate them. We put lights all over them and scary stuff, and the kids get all dressed up, and we probably have, I don't know, and then we all just go through the neighborhood. So we actually pull them because it's a big neighborhood house. We got to spread apart. And we actually drag the kid, pull the kids up on the trailer, pull them out the street, hit all the houses, jump back on the trailer, come back around. So we pull through and we cover a lot of ground that way. But it's fun because you got the lights blasting, the trailers are going on, you know, kids are having a good time running around, and it's just a lot of fun.
Getting back to Dundalk, if you are if you're local in the area, you should go by there. They do it up in Dundalk. Like there's streets that literally like houses set up like a haunted house. There's a house that we go past every day for school. He starts the first week of September. He starts pulling his stuff out, and every single week as we go by, you get to see step by step what he's putting out. And then obviously on Halloween, it's the big event. But yeah, they shut the street down. Like they'll block the street so traffic can't come through, and it's awesome. And I love to hear all the screaming kids because it's funny.
Shout out to Dundalk for doing it right, because I know I can go through there in the summertime and find zombies walking up and down the street.
Oh, yeah.
You sure can.
They get in the
got that
Halloween
lean.
spirit early.
They're in it to win it, man. They ain't messing around. That's for sure. That's for sure. No, that's a lot of fun. Halloween is a fun time of year, without a doubt, right? I mean, there's so many things you can do. Kids running around, getting dressed up, you know, the outdoors, the leaves are starting to fall. It really is a nice time of year. So, it's, I guess, having a birthday in that time of year has been pretty cool then. Right. Well, good. So, hey, we appreciate you jumping on here again and having a conversation with us. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And real quick, I wanted to mention that at the beginning of the show, but we kind of jumped right into this. I want to give a big shout out to our number one fan here, who's a real big fan of our intro music, and that's Matt's daughter, Lexi.
Lexi.
So she listens to every episode first thing on Monday mornings when it's released, and she texts Matt about it. So shout out to Lexi, our biggest fan. And she really loves the intro music. She does a little DJ dance when it comes on. Thanks for listening, Lexi.
So I see a TikTok video, Lexi, of the Fireaway podcast dance. Yeah. All right. As long as Daddy allows TikTok videos, I don't know. I don't allow them. So
I'm quite certain he doesn't either.
all right. Well, hey, this has been a fun conversation with us again. Thank you very much for jumping in here and sharing your birthday stuff with us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mark, as always, man, it's always fun sitting down and cussing and discussing with you. Although the cussing gets edited out, but there is some that pops up here and there. Okay. Again, to all of our listeners, we want to thank you very much for jumping on, listening to the podcast. We were firing away with everything and anything. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, you can find us on.
You can find us on Instagram at _away podcast. And we are working currently to get us on other platforms. So be on the lookout. We're going to try to get on Spotify and Google here soon. We'll make sure we're promoting it on Instagram, and we're going to let you know when we're on those other platforms besides Apple. Please remember, when you find us on Apple Podcasts, to hit that little follow button up in the corner. It means a lot to this podcast. We have a lot more listeners than we do followers, so I'm just trying to encourage everybody who listens to follow us on Instagram. It makes a big, follow us on Apple Podcasts. It makes a big difference.
And make sure that everybody attends the holiday Christmas party today. It's not tonight. The holiday Christmas party coming up. Casino night. It ought to be fun.
Yeah.
Be a good time.
I'll be on a cruise. I won't be there.
Yeah, Mark won't be here, but we'll be running the podcast live.
In spirit. Yeah.
So we're hoping you can jump on, share some holiday
Liz
spirit
will
with
jump
us.
back on. A few drinks. She'll take my
Oh,
spot.
yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, post-surgery.
All right. Hey, guys. Well, again, thank you very much for listening. We'll
Are
catch
they tying a string around them so they fall? Never mind. All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
See you guys.
Welcome to the Fire Away Podcast. The podcast that is the Fire Away Podcast.